Hi everyone, Brad Porter here with your weekly Sunday update. Hey, I've been doing these for over a year now, but someone pointed out to me recently that I've never really actually introduced Cobot. And what is Cobot about? I've just assumed that my audience knows what we're up to here at Cobot. And so maybe instead of assuming, I should just tell you what we're up to here at Cobot. So background context of the company, I founded the company with a core founding team in May of 2022. So just over 3.5 years in right now. The thesis behind this, so my background, I led all of robotics for Amazon, right? I helped drive Amazon's expansion from 50,000 robots to over 500,000 robots. Amazon's well over 1 million robots now. But I led that organization. It was a 10,000 person organization driving the acceleration of automation for Amazon. And Amazon, I think, is arguably the world's most successful company at deploying robotics. And I feel proud to have taken a stint at leading that to really accelerate it, right? Obviously, Amazon benefited from a great acquisition in the Kiva acquisition, had a great talent, had a great operational footprint to work from. I had a lot of assets to build with, but my role was to accelerate that transformation. We brought over 50 new robotics programs in. Super proud of what we did there. During the pandemic, I decided to get back to Silicon Valley. I joined Scale AI as their CTO. And at Scale, front row seat to everything that was happening in AI, right? And we have seen what's happened, but in 2020, 2021, 2022, ChatGPT came out late 2022 after we founded Cobot. And at Scale, what was clear was AI is going to keep improving in step functions, right? We're going to see, we got LLMs, we got reasoning models, we got multimodal, but it comes in step functions. It's not as smooth as we would like. This weekend we're, losing our mind over Claude-bot. I don't know if that's a step function improvement or not. Time will tell. But the point is, it was clear to me that AI is progressing very, very rapidly in big step functions. And so what I knew was that the future of robotics did not look like what we did at Amazon, right? What we did at Amazon was much more task-specific, sorting systems and storage systems and connecting them all. The future of robotics was going to be far more flexible, AI-driven robots, right? That as AI advanced, we were going to have more and more capability, right? But in order to bring that capability to other enterprises, there was a lot of scaffolding to be built, right? Software capabilities. We needed great hardware. We needed hardware that could do meaningful work in hospitals, in logistics, in manufacturing, that hit a price point, right? And I've talked in the past about, how do you get below about $15 an hour operating costs of a robot in a commercial environment, right? And you can't really build a $500,000 machine or a $250,000 machine to do that, which means, and really the cost of robots is driven heavily by the number of actuators in the system and the complexity of the controls and the balancing system. And so the question was, this AI is coming. We know it's coming. We know that we're going to have more and more capable AI. We know that it's, AI is going to keep getting better, and therefore robots are going to be on this very, very quick progression of how do we bring some hardware into the real world right now, right? Get enterprises adopting it, get enterprise using it, build the software ecosystem, build the change management ecosystem. And so our thesis was everybody's going to have to go through a transformation like Amazon, but they're going to be able to do it with much more AI-enabled, flexible robots at a great price point. But the market didn't have that robot. The AI is still advancing, and enterprises were not yet ready for that change. And then the software ecosystem that you need to support all that didn't exist either. So we had to build it. We had to build this ecosystem, and we needed to build it in a way, this is a challenge. You have to get robots in the field to really harden them, right? There's no real way to learn those lessons just in the design sessions, right? You have to get the robots in the field. So we designed a new robot from scratch, something that doesn't exist, right? And I'll tell you, if you're building a product, it's sometimes easier to build a product that looks like something that does exist, right? or is something that people are familiar with. We built a robot that doesn't look like anything anyone's seen before. It's like tall with 4 wheels and grippers, right? Like what? Okay. Well, what we knew though was that the swerve drive architecture, the 4 wheels on the ground, gave us a lot more precision and mobility. And we knew from our experience at Amazon that that was incredibly important if we're going to move collaboratively in and around humans. Something that kind of wobbles, moves around, is not going to be great moving in and around humans. And also, if we're going to put manipulators on this, as the AI gets better, precision in positioning really, really matters. You need to line up to that shelf or to that item. You need to be really, really close, precisely to where you want to be, and so that you can reach and do what you need to do. We knew that wheels were fine. Wheels were better, right? Balancing systems in an environment like Amazon is risky. It's dangerous. It consumes a lot of power. It's expensive. It's a lot of extra motors and actuation. It's not useful. Swappable batteries. Swappable batteries are really, really important because to get the utilization, you don't want to sit on a charger all the time, right? And no matter what, lithium polymer batteries, even if you charge at 1C, is about the fastest you can safely charge. That takes, 1C means the capacity of the battery takes about an hour to charge, right? So whatever your duty cycle of the robot is, if you do 3 hours, 4 hours before you have to charge, then you have to charge for an hour. This is the whole fundamental problem with air taxis, by the way. Air taxis, when they burn through their charge, they need to spend an hour charging. Well, the problem is like 25 to 45 minutes is about how long maybe you can fly, right? And then you got to go charge for an hour. The utilization is just really, really bad. And the amount of space you need to charge air taxis, same thing with robots, right? If you need a whole bank of chargers and your robots are always it's slow, it's painful, right? And so you need swappable batteries. And then the question was, how do we get in the market right away? What can we do meaningfully, right? And that is, the number one thing we succeeded in automating away at Amazon was walking. There's relatively less walking at Amazon now. Paying people to walk, it's not a great job if you're just paid to walk all day. It's pretty hard on the body actually to walk on a concrete floor all day long or in a hospital all day long. Those jobs aren't great, right? And frankly, robots with wheels can walk better than we can, right? And with better sensing, better perception. And so let's build a robot that can walk and can move carts, boxes, totes around, right? And it turns out we do this all over the place in airports, in stadiums, in hospitals, and we move carts around. And we can start with a really simple manipulator. We don't need super sophisticated AI to get going. Lots of people have cool, fancy robots with really sophisticated arms. Those are really hard to get actually doing real meaningful work right now, but we can move carts all day long, right? And so that's what we're doing. We just started there. But as the AI gets better, then we put the more sophisticated manipulators on there, and we start to be able to do everything. But the thing people are missing, and this is important, is it's not the hardware, nor is it the AI model. You have to put all this together in a system, right? There's a software infrastructure layer. So our robot does full self-auto tasking right now. It identifies the work itself. We don't have to integrate with a warehouse management system. Do you know how big an unlock it is for a robot not to have to integrate? So many deployments failed because you couldn't integrate them effectively into a warehouse management system. I had a huge team. I had 800 software engineers working on the warehouse management system for Amazon, right? Like huge team trying to bring robotics and capabilities online. We don't have to do that anymore because the AI on board, multimodal models, the kind of awareness that our robot has, the fact that we can fuse, contextual knowledge about the map of the space and do full self-auto tasking with no warehouse management integration is a massive breakthrough, right? But it's just the start, right? How do we actually know what's going on everywhere in the hospital? How do we know what tasks need to get done? How do we integrate all that? That's a capability product we call Vista. Right? Vista is our software layer that brings together all the knowledge and information, not just about the robots, but about the human operations as well. Humans, digital agents, embodied agents, all AI powered. The beauty of this, by the way, is that we're moving away from the rigid workflows of warehouse management systems that were very, very brittle and hard to change, right? And so to something much more like Uber, right? Where you have tasks that need to get done, robots with capabilities that can get it done, you now have a matching discovery problem. That's where Vista comes in, right? And we're building that. But enterprises also are struggling to change, right? They're struggling to embrace and adopt this technology. Obviously, the technology's early too, right? So, not only are you bringing in change, but you're bringing in new technology, new capability. How do you help enterprises through that? That's what our flywheel services are about. So what we're doing at Cobot, we've built a great piece of hardware, industrial hardened. Thing runs 16 hours a day, shifts, moving 1,500 pounds carts, hundreds of carts a day. Like, it's a workhorse, right? And our next generation that's coming out right now is just like battle hardened, right? And manufacturable, and like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of engineering at a cost point that works without the complexity of balancing systems and all this. So hardware, right? And we're not going to build just one type of hardware. The whole point is this whole platform ecosystem is how do you build the best hardware for that task, for that space, right? We're going to have the best hardware for moving things around in hospitals and the best hardware for moving things around in manufacturing, because the same hardware actually works in all of those. But if you want to move pallets up multiple floors, right? Or if you want to deliver something to someone's doorstep, right? Or if you want to, repair power lines under the ocean, you're going to need different types of robots, right? And so we're going to bring different types of robots on this platform, right? On this kind of ecosystem that we're building and help enterprises transform. Now we have, Proxy is our first product and a great product, right? We're going to sell a lot of Proxy units, and Proxy with more and more advanced manipulation is going to be incredibly powerful, right? But that's the thesis. How do we bring AI, software, hardware, enterprise change management together to help enterprises adopt this? And the cool thing is, like, we actually don't see any competition. Kind of a weird thing to say, but no one's moving these kind of carts and materials around in hospitals. No one has a robot that grabs a horizontal handlebar carts and moves it around, let alone a great platform for bimanual manipulation and a great platform for AI, right? We've got 3 Orin system computers on this thing. We can put a lot of AI capability. We've got 8 sensors. So the point is, we've got a great platform for AI. We've got our flywheel team can help enterprises embrace and do this adoption. Our Vista team is putting that software together. Our onboard systems, being able to full self-auto task, means there's no integration to be done. We're building a really, really great product to bring physical AI to the world, but we're building all the scaffolding and infrastructure to help, so that then we have a platform to bring more and more robotic capabilities. Because the reality is, we don't need a least common denominator, like one general purpose robot to fill them all. We need a great robot for hospitals. We need a great robot for other types of, for to the doorstep delivery. Like, they're different robots. They're going to be great for different things. And yet they're going to all have this general purpose AI on board. And that's going to be super, super exciting. So that's the vision behind Cobot. How do we coalesce everything so that we, as much as Amazon has 1 million robots out there, a lot of other people need 1 million robots too. The world needs a few billion robots. We can be that platform, that company, that capability. We're only 3.5 years in. We're just over 100 people, but we've got a huge amount of the scaffolding already built. Some amazing customers with, Mayo Clinic and others, where our robots are working every day, moving things around in the hospital. It's a great, great, great platform, and 2026 is a great, great year to be in robotics. And so we're amped up, and we're gonna bring our existing investors into the space next week to show them what we've been up to the last 3.5 years. And we did one of these 2 years ago, so it's a good refresh update. But keep an eye out too. We're thinking about doing a little bit of an open house right before the Super Bowl next Saturday afternoon. So if you're in the Bay Area, keep an eye out for posts from us that we're looking at doing a bit of an open house. All right, long update today. Thank you if you stuck through all of that. Super exciting time in the robotics field. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of what our strategy at Cobot is. All right, have a good one.